Hey everyone, Kyle once again, aka Dressy Godzilla fan. Welcome back, and now it's time. Like I said, as I promised, it's time that it's time to finally do my that I've announced over a week ago or so that I'm gonna do my best and worst films of this year 2013. And it's the first time I'm doing the best and worst because before I made a YouTube channel, I've always been doing my best and worst films. Like I always hang my best films of each year. Like the last previous year, I hang it outside of my door. The printed pictures of the best films I've seen of year 2012. So. And now you finally get a chance to do this here on YouTube of my best and worst films of 2013. So for this video, I'm going to do the worst films that I really hated this year, and then they don't save the best for last. So I'm going to save my best films for last. Now I have written on this piece of paper, so that way I don't forget. And it's a lot of films for both. Funny thing is, both best and worst films. I have 18 of each section that I've liked and disliked. So yeah. So now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna call this as my for this video. I'm gonna call this as my 18 worst films of the year 2013. So I don't forget them. I have it written on this piece of paper here. Let's get started now. And I'm really enjoying this because these films I really disliked. Which if everyone's probably since there are 18 of these films, there's probably like any of these films will probably be on anybody's worst 2013 films list of anybody who has done a video here on YouTube. And if I say that I'm not copying from anyone though, just because there's a lot of films here that are probably on some of the lists that you have, doesn't mean I'm copying from anybody else. So it might seem similar to anybody else's, but this is what I personally have hated of this year. So this is my personal list, not anybody else's. Because I haven't. Like I said, there might be some movies and their own lists of best or worst. Their own list of this year. I'm not copying anybody. I'm not copying anybody's. I'm just, like I said, some of the films I have might be on here on your list that you like or dislike, but I just want to point out because this is my own personal list, and there's a lot of films I really, especially for my first time doing a best and worst of this year. I wanted to go all out on the first video, So now I'm starting with my worst films of this year of 2013 that I've really hated. So starting from the top. Now this is a film. This is before. I just want to say about this film. I just want to say this film because this film did not come out. Technically, did not come out here in the year 2013. It came out on DVD on the year on 2013. I saw this on Netflix. I was looking forward to seeing it. I was a little interested in seeing this, but I didn't even hear about this, and I didn't even hear about this when I first saw it when it came out on DVD, and I saw this on Netflix. But and I saw it, and oh man, this really made me angry. Made me really angry, So this is like the first. This is not the. This is not number 18, but this is like one of the films that came out technically in the year 2012, but I really still hated it, but it came out on DVD. And that is Room 237. Yeah, Room 237. It was I suppose a documentary on on The Shining, you know, on Stanley Kubrick's classic film of the Stephen King film, The Shining. And boy, did that just really get my anger going. I'm just sitting watching it on. I saw this on Netflix, and I finally got a chance to see it. I'm really glad I did not buy the DVD instead. I'm really glad I didn't buy the DVD. Otherwise, it's been a waste of my money. Room 237. It was. It just left me speechless. I remember there was something like a person who. This is why I hated it so much. I only saw it once, and I've practically forgotten it because that's why I wanted to. I wanted to forget about that piece of shit film. I thought there was like a guy who was doing some of those. I thought there was a guy that was doing something that was not related to the Shining film, you know, or talking about it. That was just seriously doing some kind of a bogus thing. I couldn't even remember what it was because I wanted to forget this out of my head, and I was so pissed about it. I wanted to forget it out of my head, and if I forgot about it, then who cares? Then what do I care? And obviously, I'm glad I forgot about it because I'm glad that I've never bought this on DVD. So yeah, this is like the first one that that's not part of my top list because it technically came out in the year 2012, but I just want to say that. So so yeah, Room 337 is I would say, now I don't watch a lot of documentary films, but there has been a few of them that I liked though. But I just wanted to say this because since I really enjoy The Shining a lot, it's one of the most classic films from the 80s, horror films from the 80s, you know, especially based on Stephen King, and I was interested to see it, and I saw it, and it's really made me want to punch something, maybe want to, I don't know, but I just wanted to punch something because it made me that angry. But when I saw it, I'm never seeing it again, never in my entire life. And I saw it once, and I practically forgot about it, and I'm glad. So, just want to point it out on that small part. So, now I'm getting into the first film on this list of my worst of this year, and number 18 is Carrie. Carrie, the remake, the 2013 remake of the classic Brian De Palma film. Now, I watched. Now this is Now I remember I saw two films on. I went to the theaters. I saw two films on this day. This film Carrie and another film which is further down the list, which I will get to though. But I saw two films and one day, and this one I saw last. I saw the other crappy film the first, and then I saw this film first. So Carrie, now Carrie's is like I said, the remake of Carrie. Although it was the second time, or the third time I would say it was. Actually, I think it might be the fourth time it was done. Technically, the fourth time, because after the original, then you had a very shitty sequel called Rage, Carrie 2, which is practically the same thing, and then you had a TV film remake of it, which was even lamer. So then you have this. So technically, it's the fourth time. It's been done. And I never saw a TV. I never saw a TV remake version, but I saw this. Technically, it was like for me. I was a person to think if they ever did a TV version remakes of certain films, I would say they don't count. You know, this is probably like a weird thing though, but I was just like a true like Piranha 3D. I thought it was like a much more true remake than that there was a TV film of it, of a 1990 something TV film remake of it. You know, I always thought the Piranha 3D was more like a true remake to the original. And Piranha 3D is a much better remake than this film, without a doubt. But like I said, it's like another one of those typical remakes. It's like the same beats, but instead they have like they throw in all the iPhones, the iPods, and YouTube and stuff. An updated version remake of it. It takes place in today's time. Chloe Grace Moretz. I like Chloe Grace Moretz. I liked her. I liked her in Hugo, and I liked her in that film Let Me In, which the vampire film Let Me In. And I didn't mind her as Hit Girl in the first Kick-Ass film, and I haven't seen the second Kick-Ass film, but didn't mind her as Hit Girl in the first Kick-Ass film. Um, and I thought well, in this film Chloe Grace Moretz, she does what she can as Carrie. She does what she can. Julianne Moore plays as the crazy mother. Piper Laurie, I think Laurie, that's how I think it was the last name was. Piper Laurie. She was much better than much more than Julianne Moore. And Julianne Moore, I would say she does what she can too, but it's probably the same stuff you see, the same beats you see, and it's a typical remake that does not need to be made. You know, I'm just watching it. It's like, yeah, this is just the same thing, but a much more updated version. With the YouTube and iPhones and such like that. It said, like when she was, bleeding in the showers, and instead of the original, they're just throwing towels at her. They do throw towels, but instead they use iPhones to make a video and making fun of her for that. You know, it's just the same thing. It's only they added the little details with the iPhone stuff. It didn't really matter. Um, this is just another remake of a classic film that does not need to be made. Plain and simple. Although, like I said, I do enjoy some remakes. But this is another one. Just I saw the trailer to it. I was like, oh no, it's like pretty much the same. It's the same as the original. Getting covered with blood, walking down, the street covered in blood. So, and this film was a hit, somehow a hit at the box office. I think like 78 million worldwide. But on a budget of I think it was like 30 million. So the film was a box office success, but to me, the money didn't really matter. It's just another neat remake that didn't need to be made. So yeah, that's number 18. That's number 18, Carrie, 2013. Another remake that does not need to be made. The original is a classic. Sissy Spacek. Even Sissy Spacek, even for her performance, she was nominated for Best Actress at Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Carrie, because she did a much better. Well, I think the thing I said a difference that always thought was creepy with the original Carrie. She always had her eyes wide open, stare, as she's moving objects, like. I thought Chloe Grace Moretz didn't do that, I always thought that was like a creepy performance from Sissy Spacek with that wide open stare, Nothing. This is nothing special about that in the remake, So Sissy Spacek, she always did a great job as the original Carrie. Chloe Grace Moretz, she does what she can, I thought she was okay at best, but nothing touches the original, from Brian De Palma's classic film from 1970. Yeah, I think it was 1972. So that's number 18, Carrie. Number 17 is another, I guess another remake, and that's Evil Dead. Evil Dead. When I heard they were gonna do a remake of Evil Dead, I was like, when I first heard about that, I was like, oh man. Yeah, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are producing the film. Why you want to produce a film even when you when you start and when an actor has starred in it and a director who directed it, the original, which got such a unique way of doing a horror film, you know. Yeah, there were some of the same differences from the original, you know, like the tree scene, and, you know, and the and the girl cutting off her hand, you know, with a chainsaw. But I'll give the only thing I'll give props to, yeah, to this Evil Dead remake is I like the gore. There was some decent good gore. I like the scene where it starts raining blood, you know, raining blood everywhere, you know. Okay, that was a good gore, bloody scene, you know, it was just raining blood. That was a nice little touch there. But then I was thinking, what else does this film have to offer other than just lots of amounts of gore? I never cared once about the character, especially the lead girl who was a junkie, you know. Never cared about this girl whatsoever, you know. To me, she's like this dopey look, the same look, you know. Had this dopey look to her, to me, you know. And other characters never cared about, you know. And even though there was some silly stuff, you know, which I thought, oh wait, if that happened, how come that same thing went, you know, like for instance, you know, like the little girl who was possessed, you know, cutting her tongue. If she cut her tongue, you know, and when she got unpossessed, what happened? Her tongue like back to normal? Or what? You know, if she clearly cut her tongue, you know, shouldn't have been stay that way, you know, so having a split tongue. I guess not. I guess what happens when you're not possessed anymore. Or the long-haired guy, you know. Yes, you know. Even when he gets the book, it was wrapped in plastic with barbed wire around it, saying, you know, barbed wire. Clearly, no one wants this read, you know. With the original with Bruce Campbell, that was understandable, you know. But here, it's, you know, if you're watching it today, watching it like a today's film, you know, it's a typical thing, you know. Yes, you know, he has to read the book, or otherwise there's no movie, you know. If anyone did not know anyone to read that book, you know, why don't you just write a little note, plain simple English. Do not read this book, okay? At all costs, do not read this book. It was wrapped in plastic and tangled barbed wire for a reason. So of course the person, that long-haired guy, has to disobey it. Yeah, and the girl cutting her hand off, just saying with Bruce Campbell, you know. And since then the film, like the Carrie remake, this film was a big hit, you know. There was a budget of a $15 million budget and made like almost $100 million. I think it was $97 million. So it came close to making $100 million worldwide. For what? Just for the gore, I'll give props to, but none of the characters I did not like the characters whatsoever. Um, and it was also defeat the purpose. Like, it was supposed to be like a straight up horror film. But what was neat was uniquely about the original Evil Dead, they would throw in a lot of amounts of comedy. You know, like for instance, you know, like when Bruce Campbell is standing in the middle of the room, and you hear all this laughing, you know, even like the deer head that has make a demon like face that's laughing, and Bruce Campbell's all laughing with everything, you know, ha 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 ha, you know, it's acting like he's going crazy, you know, and it's a unique way, you know, because it's really rare in a horror film where the lead male actor has to survive and through all this, you know. That's another a rare thing what I can say about the collection, you know, the collector films, you know. It's rare in a horror film where a guy survives in a horror film. It's mostly the woman. And say here the remake, it's a woman, you know, it has to survive, has always a typical survivor, you know. That's why I say a unique thing in the original Evil Dead. You know, Bruce Campbell, he's doing whatever it takes to survive. You know, all this demons stuff, just doing stuff to him left and right. You know, and he's fighting everything. You know, and it's just and this is here the Evil Dead. It's just another, it makes it look like another typical remake. You know, like I said about the Care remake. Never cared about the characters. Never cared the and Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell producing the film. And even and one thing enough, since the film was a big hit, they're going to try to do a sequel, maybe a crossover with the original. How can you do that? Do a crossover with the original, me and Bruce Campbell? I think it's a stupid idea, and I don't care to see a sequel whatsoever. And I was also bored by this film. You know, yeah, I was like, okay, you know, giving a good watching and giving props to some of the gore effects. You know, it's like, especially like the raining blood scene. I like that though, but that's practically pretty much about it. What else does this film has to offer other than some decent amounts of gore? Nothing. No unlikable cast or characters. This is no typical remake that this does not need to be made. I wish this film was not. I wish this film was not meant to be made. You know, because defeat a purpose like how unique was with the original film. You know, even though there was a dumb. When after the end credits, there's a small little cameo appearance by Bruce Campbell. Why does he need to be in it if this takes place probably not in the realm of the original? It's probably just made that appearance just for giggles, you know, just for laughs, probably. Such a shame. So yeah, that's the number 17, Evil Dead, another remake that did not need to be made. Number 16. Number 16 is G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation. I was not a big fan of the first film, Rise of Cobra. I was not a big fan of the first film. Steven Sommers, for the first film, he's directed better. I do like The Mummy, and I love D. Risen. That's his best film, but the first G.I. Joe film I wasn't a big fan of because there was some stuff that I thought the original G.I. Joes that would not do, especially with these new high-tech suits. I thought, really, did the original G.I. Joes do all that? No. And G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation, I had a problem with this film starting right from from last year, because last year during the Super Bowl they advertised it was going to come out in the summer, right? They were during the Super Bowl they advertised a teaser commercial trailer, TV spot for the film. Said it was coming out for the summer of 2012. But now, and then I knew the problem was because when I found out during the summer, they pushed it. They pushed the release. It was going to come out, I would believe it was somewhere in June 2012, and then they pushed the release date to March of 2013 to shoot more 3D and add more scenes with Channing Tatum in it. And that was a red flag for me. That was a red flag for me. When they had to push the release date, always were a problem. And just for reshoot the whole thing in 3D, add more scenes with Channing Tatum, I knew that was a problem. And I saw the film. To me, the only best part of the film was Dwayne Johnson as Roadblock. I like Dwayne Johnson. I am a fan of Dwayne Johnson. Especially that film back there, if you can see it, Journey to the Mysterious Island. I like Dwayne. If you can see it. I like Journey 2, and I like Dwayne Johnson. I liked him as Roadblock in the G.I. Joe Retaliation, but he could not save this movie. There was a lot of boredom for me. You know, there was a lot of characters I never cared about. You know, and there was a couple even though I was not a fan of Channing Tatum's Duke, you know. Even he dies at the start of the film, you know, and I always thought there was, to me, there was, like, okay, he dies though. How was this girl in the first film, find out that when she tried to get all the stuff that was out of her head in the first film, how was he gonna, find out that he died now? So all that stuff, though, it's also after him trying to, get back together with his woman, and trying to get all that nanites out of her and made it kind of meaningless. So now since he died. And I saw was like where the extra scenes that Channing Tatum they said they're adding more scenes of him, and really that's it. Only at the start of the film. Couldn't see that. Um, and the rest of the characters, all G.I. Joes are dead except for Dwayne Johnson. The other two characters I don't care about. The one character though was I forgot what that guy's name. The other guy who was with Dwayne Johnson and the other girl soldier. I forgot what the guy's. I thought he was another one of the important characters in the original G.I. Joe soldier cast, and I forgot what his name was. I've drawn a blank. I can't remember, but it was more on just oh god. I just hate when don't you ever hate when you draw a blank, can't remember a certain film. Well, Room 237, I said that's understandable because I wanted not to remember that. But here's a film that I do want to remember, try to explain it, but can't remember though. But I'll explain this. I'll explain some of the stuff. I was bored by this film. I just thought the action scenes were not that quite as good. The other cast members, like I said, the other two actors that were with Dwayne Johnson, they were forgettable. Bruce Willis is in this as Joe. I think it was like the original Joe. I do like the moment where he was hiding in the when the woman was turning the car over. He comes from the back, and shooting. Okay, I like that, and I like how he tricked one of the guards that was guarding the president. He had like this little moment where he tricked the guards and killed him. Okay, that was a good moment with Bruce Willis. But that was it. The action was not much, except for I do like the scene where Snake Eyes was on the mountain scene. I think that was like the only best scene that anybody would say. Was his fight on the mountain. And at the end they said it, and I absolutely agree, because yeah, that was really one of the best scenes in the entire film, was when Snake Eyes was fighting on that mountain. That was a really good action scene there, but that's practically it. Other than that action scene and Dwayne Johnson, maybe maybe one or two moments with Bruce Willis, but that's it. Never cared about the whole thing with the Arnold Vosloo as being the president, and doing all this. They usually like do much, goofing around, this and that, And rather the fact, and then Ray Stevenson, who played Ballstag in Thor 1 and 2, and Punisher in Punisher Warzone. Terrible Punisher in that film. And to escape and trying to get a White Shadow out, which I thought he died as anybody would say, they thought that he died in the first one. Clearly he died in the first one. He got stabbed twice, and he fell into the freezing water in the first film and died. He thought he was dead, but apparently not. Somehow they must have found him somehow, and brought him back to life, because for sure he was dead. And they leave the character Destro at the end of the film, where the Cobra Commander, where Ray Stevens was doing was taking releasing White Shadow and Cobra Commander out, but they left the character Destro another, you're meaningless now, to the film, You're just gonna stay there and that's it. So that's probably another throwaway character for the film, though. They just probably, it was kind of pointless putting him in that film, because if they're just gonna rescue those two characters and leave him, that's it. He might as well not be in the film. Yeah, this film just has so many problems to it. It's just Dwayne Johnson could not say Dwayne Johnson. I like Dwayne Johnson. He was good as Roadblock, but he could not say this film. That one action scene on the mountain with Snake Eyes could not say that film, or that one or two moments with Bruce Willis did not say the film. This film was really boring, long, drag out. I think it's over 2 hours long. If it did, it felt much more longer than that, and I was bored. I was bored really easily. And I do remember once reading online that they were planning after that they were planning to do like a crossover with G.I. Joe and Transformers. I think personally I think that's a dumb idea, especially with the new upcoming Transformers 4 film, Age of Extinction, which I'm not looking forward to that film at all. I think it's a kind of a dumb idea to do a crossover, especially I'm not a fan of the first G.I. Joe film, or don't like this film at all. So I think it's a dumb idea to do a crossover with them and Transformers. I think it would be just too much, adding all a major cast and another major cast together. I think that's just be too much. So yeah, that's number 6. That's number 16. GI Joe Retaliation, a complete board fest. So, and now I'll get into number 15, and I do have the film right here. Number 15, The Purge. Now this film was surprisingly this was a major hit. It was a major big box office hit. A total worldwide made over 87 million worldwide and a budget of 3 million. So it was a very big hit. I thought it was, and I saw the film. With the whole thing of crimes on all-time low, and for one night a year, 12 hours, all crime is legal. I thought this, and there was all the anger and hatred inside of every person who are saving it for this year. I think it sounded pretty dumb anyway. And Ethan Hawke's in this. I thought it was okay. He had that good. Yeah, I thought he was doing really good especially when the invaders invaded the house. He was fighting like 3 of them in this game room. Had slammed one of the intruders against a pinball machine. He stabbed one with the back with an axe, and shooting one with this fancy looking shotgun. Okay, he was doing really good, but all of a sudden he gets stabbed and dies by the leader of the cult, of the group. So okay, wow, that was really lame. He had a good fight fighting like 3 people, and all of a sudden he gets stabbed and dies. Although there was one thing I liked in this film was the stranger guy, the black guy who was the homeless guy who was a former army vet, I really did played by I think his name Edwin Hott. Edwin Hodge, I think, yeah. I really like this character. I wish this whole film was set on his point of view. He was being chased, and the kid let him in. Of course they had to do that. Otherwise, we have no movie. Although I thought the film was pretty slow, taking all this slow time when they're searching through the house looking for this guy. And the weird thing with the kid wearing glasses in the house, like I am, I'm wearing glasses in the house, sunglasses in the house. But I had with this stupid thing where with this remote control messed up toy doll, on a tank, so that way you can see where anybody's is, via video camera. And I liked when when the guy at the end, the stranger, helps out the family in. Okay, it was really good. It was really good, He shot one guy, and I saw there was another good one where Lena Headey, who played Mama from Dread 3D. There was one where this woman, it was her neighbor, was trying to kill her. She hits her in the nose, like, sit down, And he says, now get out of my house. And it's all a stupid thing. Is like, because her neighbors kill all the rest of the intruders, but they were gonna kill the family, because I thought the thing is, yeah, because they bought the security that Ethan Hawke, he's Ethan Hawke's character, who was the guy who sold security. You know, all the fancy, to keep the steel doors around the steel doors from the windows. You know, they bought the same security that Ethan Hawke. You know, and it was like, they took that money and they shoved it in our faces. You know, and well, that's why we're gonna kill you. I'm like, you bought the security for your own protection against the crazy people out there. So now you're getting a big hissy fit because the Ethan Hawke's family was like a rich family because they sold security, and you bought them, and you're saying you shove that money in our face. If you were to do that, then why just not buy security at all and just let your house completely undefensible, and stupid way, It's just, yeah, that's the reason why you kill, because you took your money and shoved it in our faces. That's why we're gonna kill you, because we're bad, because it's the night, we can do whatever we want, so why take the opportunity? But then that's when they were about to kill him. That's when I liked the stranger guy who I liked, and who comes in, saves the family, and shoots at one person, And I wish that film was set on his point of view, because he said he knows because he was an army vet. He had dog tags on him, army tags, and I like that guy. I wish that film was set entirely on him from his point of view. And since the film was a big hit, they are decided to do a sequel. Instead, it was going to be released on June 20th, 2014. So the film was very successful enough to make a sequel. And I'm not interested in seeing it. And also, funny thing is, the real enough it says this film was produced by Michael Bay, Michael Bay. And I looked at the only feature it has here is the making of the film, and I didn't see Michael Bay whatsoever. I was like, okay, if he was producing the film, where is he? I'll show with the cast and the director, because Michael Bay's been producing a lot of mostly the remakes of horror films, some other films like Unborn and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Amityville Horror. And he produced the Unborn, and he produced this film. And I was like, okay, where's Michael Bay? Probably he's too busy because he's producing the new upcoming Ninja Turtles movie, which is I think is gonna suck. So yeah, dumb idea. I thought it was a dumb idea. Just this whole time. I mean, even the whole thing of one night per year, well, the rest of the year, someone's liable to break the laws anyway and commit crimes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. People are just gonna continue to do stuff, or so whether they're just gonna save all that just for this one night, It's just another dumb idea, like on the real. Oh, yeah, it's also another dumb thing. It's like, oh, Ethan Hawke's listening on his radio. It's like, one guy's like, I want to get my boss tonight. That bastard hasn't come in. This is laughing, and I saw this, and when I was seeing this late night at the theater, and the whole time I was watching also on this film is that watching the theater, people are just spending the whole time laughing at the film. They were just laughing at here, laughing at this and that. It's like. At the time, I was like, why, But now I see why. Seeing it a second time when I got it on DVD, yeah, I just wish at the time when I saw it in theater, I wish I was laughing with the people. So yeah, it's just, yeah. So this film was worried enough that it's gonna get a sequel coming out sometime and then the summer next year. So, and it even had a big opening on the weekend. It broke a new record, broke The Devil Inside, Honestly, yeah, I would say this film is much better than Devil Inside, because that film has absolutely nothing to that film, nothing whatsoever. So I could say this film, yeah, it deserves to break The Devil Inside's record, though, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter, because I don't like the film anyway. Even though I do say it's much better than The Devil Inside, but I'm just tired of these. I'm just tired of the horror films now today. You know, there's just nothing. Well, I could say technically, you know, a film. The only horror film I could say that I liked this year. It's not on my list of best films of 2013 though. I thought it was an alright film. That's The Conjuring. The Conjuring I thought was okay, you know, but there's nothing to do. There's just no. I could say it's better than The Purge though, but it's just not saying much. But maybe the only decent horror film of the year, but at the same time, no horror films today. I was never scared by the film, but this is I just don't try to do anything to be scary or suspenseful. You know, maybe The Conjuring. People a lot think it's so much scary and suspenseful, but not to me. Just horror films nowadays just suck. It just makes me want to wish. It just makes me want to watch more of the classic horror films from the 90s and 80s. Maybe early 2000s, because that's when they were starting to decline. Maybe at that time though, but there's so many good horror films. You know, that is left to be confronted, especially like the Blob remake. That was a film that I really enjoyed, and that film gets a lot of crap, you know, which I understand why. So yeah, horror films today, this is not that good. So that's The Purge. That's number that's number 15. Not good at all. Now number 14 is another film. I don't have the DVD, and I saw this is another film I saw on Netflix. It's probably not on Netflix anymore, but I saw it once the same time like I watched To Room 237. This is a film called Only God Forgives. It's a film that starred Ryan Gosling, and it also came from the same guy who directed Drive. It was just I just don't know what to say. Just Ryan Gosling in this, just like he's like I think it was the meant for us. Like I said, it's only once on Netflix, so I think it was like supposed to make this main star, this character, sympathize with his brother, because his brother was I think his brother was like a pedophile or something, you know. I think he like he did something to it. I think it was to a girl, you know. And he wants, and I think he was like sympathizing with his brother. Wants to sympathize with his brother, you know. It's like, if that happens, like, why I'm saying, why would you want to do that? Because the brother like did something horrible to I think it was a girl, and you wanted to make me sympathize with this lead character. And the mother, he wants to said, I don't feel comfortable saying it, but I think it was a line of dialogue saying mentioning about the two brothers, and you know, I don't want to say it. I just don't feel comfortable saying it though. But if anybody has seen the film, maybe you'll get what I'm saying though. It was just like a very stupid line that their mother says, you know. And the film didn't really do that well in theater. I think it got a limited release or something, made like 10 million worldwide. So it didn't really do that much. And like I say, it didn't deserve to be a big hit to me, because especially it came from the director of Drive, which I do like, with also starring Ryan Gosling and Ron Perlman. I expected to thought it would be good like Drive, but no, I was wrong. And I wish the director of Drive would do a sequel to Drive, even though there won't be no sequel. I would still rather see a sequel to Drive than see this and that film, Only for God Forgives. And how fitting. Oh, I don't forget. Only for the title, you know, Only God Forgives. Yeah, and I don't forgive God, you know. I don't forgive God, and He doesn't forgive me for seeing that film. That may sound like a bad joke, but I'm just trying. I'm not funny whatsoever. So even if you try to do a bad joke, I'm not even good at that either. But you'll get the joke, you know. Only God forgives. You know, I'm not forgiving God for that, you know. So that's not a piece of crap film. That's why it's on my list at number 14. There was not much to say. There was not much to say. I just didn't want to. There was a lot of inappropriate things about the film, you know. That's why I didn't want to get into it, because I don't feel comfortable saying it though. Especially sympathizing with Ryan Gosling, the character Ryan Gosling plays, somebody was trying to sympathize with his brother. How can you when a guy did terrible things, to a girl? I think it was one. I think it was more. I think it was like one girl, or it was maybe more. Yeah, we're supposed to feel sorry for this character. It's like me trying to sympathize with Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 3D, Which, yes, that is gonna be on my list, but it puts me further down though. That's trying to say, trying to compare. It's not trying to make me sympathize with that character. It's supposed to make me sympathize for the character Ryan Gosling plays for his brother. But I will get to that. Yeah, that is gonna be on my list, but it's further down though. I spoiled it. Who cares? It's bad. It's shitty movies anyway, so I don't care if it gets. I don't think people will care about spoilers. Such spoilers nowadays, people don't care. And then so getting into it, so that's number 14. Only God Forgives, which I don't forgive the film at all. So that's number 14, and number 13 is After Earth. After Earth, once again directed by M. Night Shyamalan. This is really M. Night Shyamalan. He should just he should just retire from directing, never direct a film again. He's been really slipping at the past movies he's been directing. I like him, especially the films I really do. The films that I do enjoy. The guy who's directed Unbreakable. I like Unbreakable. I like Signs, and don't mind the Sixth Sense. And they directed this film, and they directed The Last Airbender, and he directed a film, and then the Village was not good. The Village was not good at all, and neither was Lady in the Water. This guy, to me, he should not be directing films again, or even The Happening. To me, it felt more like a comedy than a horror film, because that was his first R-rated film, but it felt I was laughing more than being scared by the film. Oh, look at all those people! This wind makes people this wind flowing through the air, or makes people commit suicides, Yeah, that's supposed to be scary. Yeah, we'll see that film. Makes me want to commit suicide after seeing that film, I'll just go and jump off the roof after seeing that film. But the films he's been directing have not been that good whatsoever. I think the only best films he's been directing was Signs and Unbreakable. It may be The Sixth Sense, because everybody likes The Sixth Sense. But After Earth, starring Will Smith and his son Jaden Smith. And another thing, Will Smith, he should not be doing. Even though I do like The Pursuit of Happiness, but that was the first time when he was starring with his son. But this film is just he should not do another film starring with his son again. I like Will Smith though, but I like all the films. I like pretty much the couple of films he's been playing. I enjoy iRobot. Even Independence Day. I love Independence Day. I love him in it though, but as of recently, even like Wild Wild West, that film gets a lot of fans. His performance in that film is much more better than After Earth, because this guy is supposed to be like I think this is like he says supposed to be a good father to his son, which means he was never a good father to the son in this film, And like it was like how they came from the future, and Earth has evolved, animals are much more dangerous, they never been to Earth before. And Jaden Smith, he should not just he needs to stop acting too. Even though I like the pursuit of happiness though, but for me, I did not like him in The Karate Kid. Definitely did not like him in this film at all. Has some of the crappiest CGI. Has probably some of the crappiest CGI I've seen, and the other films in this film that's on my list. There's other films on this list on this worst list has a lot of crappy CGI, and this film is one of them. They look pretty much so fake, and the chemistry between these two characters is zero. And this film was universally panned by critics. It deserves it. I think it was like a 10 or 11% Rotten Tomatoes, and it deserves it. And I thought it had like a somewhat of a rating on IMDb. I think it was like the six point something, or even lower. I can't remember. But it deserves even lower than that. It cost like $130 million budget, and made like 60 million something worldwide. Not worldwide. In the U.S. made like 60 something million in the U.S. And it was to many people it's considered a box office flop, and it deserves to bomb. Because M. Night Shyamalan, he should just stop directing, because the films he's been doing, this has been beyond crappy, especially this film and Last Airbender, Lady in the Water, The Happening, and The Village. Those were not good films at all. Although I do like Unbreakable and I do like Signs, and maybe I'll even say The Sixth Sense is better. The Sixth Sense is much more better than any of those films I said that were really crappy. That was a dumb idea, It's dumb to with After Earth, After Earth. I have some one more to say. It's just him flying, him gliding around carrying the stick, It's like everything wants, all the animals wants to kill you. Even if that was another dumb thing where things like these gorillas, they're not bothering whatsoever. So what does he do? He has to touch it, but he has to poke it. I think he poked her through a rock at it. I think they weren't bothering him, but what does he do? I feel like a dumb. I don't know what went through his head. So he decides to bother it, and they chase after him. If they wouldn't have bothered you, but you had to provoke them. The writing is script, Where in the right mind the script makes you want to provoke especially being the first time on planet Earth, and you don't know what is dangerous around you, and you just want to provoke these apes. I think they were baboons or gorillas. You just want to provoke them. They weren't bothering you, but you just had to bother them, so that's why they chase after you. Because the character was being stupid. So that's After Earth. I don't want to say any more about After Earth. It's a stupid film. The trailer did not. I saw the trailer to it. Did not look good whatsoever. To me, it was one of the dumbest ideas I've seen this year. So that's number 13. After Earth. Although I thought there was a funny comment that Rambo Rap for Life he calls it Afterbirth. I mean to me that looks like a much more interesting title than just After Earth, Afterbirth. So I thought that was a funny title that Rambo Rap for Life said. That made me laugh. I saw his review of that, his rant on that film. Did a good job ranting on that film, and I thought it deserves to be called Afterbirth. That'd be a much more interesting title than After Earth. So that's After Earth. Number 13. Number 12 on the list is Machete Kills. And this is Robert Rodriguez. This is another thing. He's also been slipping as well. As of recently. Robert Rodriguez. He directed films like Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn. You go and directed the Spy Kids films, and directed another kids film called Shorts. But as of recently, recently directed the first Machete film, then Machete Kills, and the first one I did not like. Steven Seagal, crappy bad guy with that fake accent of his, there was not much of a fight when he fought Machete, just a couple sword fights and fighting and flips him over and just stabs him. and doesn't even die for that. Just always goes and pushes it in himself, the sword in himself even further. That was the movie. That movie just bugged me. I just did not like it. And anyway, so the Machete Kills. That I didn't thought it was even worse. Yeah, you have a large cast, and a lot of them were just basically throwaway characters like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Antonio Banderas. They're basically throwaway characters because this person called the Chameleon just were wearing them in disguise. I think it was played by Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga, she's better off singing than acting. She's better off singing than acting, you know. Using those Cuba Jr. and Antonio Banderas as a disguise, you know, is basically them throwing away characters. And Machete, you know, to me, he's no action hero. He's not an action hero whatsoever. He doesn't beat any of the classic action heroes like Rambo or the classic ones, you know. He's definitely no Rambo, you know. And he's not worthy of being, the character's not worthy of being an action star, you know. And then all other larger cast, you know, Charlie Sheen. Well, in the trailer they use his real full name, Carlos Estevez, you know, plays the president. Charlie Sheen should not, to me, Charlie Sheen, he should not be doing any acting anymore. Too, I think he's another thing he should retire from acting and all this. As of recently, he's been doing. I like Charlie Sheen, like in his earlier films, like when he starred with his brother in Men at Work, you know, or his little small role in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or even Hot Shots, you know. This is recently he just hasn't been holding up with what he used to. So, and even the bad guys, the whole plan, you know, the plot, you know, blowing within a missile to blow up, you know, just no typical thing, you know, to blow up populations and stuff like that. And especially the bad guys played by Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's the first time he ever plays a bad guy, you know. I was like, okay, wow, this was the first time he's ever played a bad guy before. To me, I thought he was a much more better bad guy in this film than Steven Seagal was in the first film. But still, even Mel Gibson could not save this film. I don't think he wasn't even that good at all. You know, just like some of the lines of dialogue is just like, damn, damn, he's really good. You know. And it was some of the even the CGI, like using this guy throwing this guy up into a helicopter in CGI style, you know, and using the body to go against this dragging alongside with this speedboat, you know, in CGI style, you know, the guy having an animated person to blow up this helicopter, or you're throwing out at the speedboat at the docks, you know. And of course the film did not do well at the box office either, and deserves it. But even though still if it was a flop at the box office, they're still going to do a sequel called Machete Kills Again in Space. Seeing the fake trailer to it, like now they turn putting Machete more of a star in the Star Wars universe kind of way. Oh. Oh man, just seeing that fake trailer just made me want to laugh. Not laugh in a funny way, but laugh in an anger way, you know. They should just stop. I'm definitely not seeing that. It's not worth my time and energy. Machete Kills in Space. Now they're just going over. Now they're just going overboard. Now they're just going overboard on this now. Machete Kills Again in Space. Even from the title alone, when I first read that, I was like, now they're just overdoing it now. And I bet you that Rob Rodriguez is going to be directing that too. He's just been doing it. Even if he's doing great films like this Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn, Sin City, even Planet Terror, you know. I like Planet Terror, and even I like the Grindhouse films. And I like when he directed Planet Terror. This is even much more better than that, Even the Faculty, the Faculty. That's a like a science fiction film that they directed. I thought it was much more better than much more better than as of recently the Machete films, even Spy Kids 4 or Spy Kids 3. Well, he's been directing. He's been slipping recently. Robert Rodriguez. Even the Faculty and From Dusk Till Dawn and Desperado are much better films than these films he's been directing. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say anymore about Machete Kills. Um. Then number 11. I'll stop here. I'll stop at number I'll do number 11 and I'll stop it right here as I'll go into a second part because I went this is over and this is an hour in now. Man, I didn't know I would be talking into an hour yet now. So I'll do number 11. I'll stop it. I'll stop it right there. So I'll get to number 11. Number 11 is Bullet to the Head. Bullet to the Head was starring Sylvester Stallone. Now, this is another film that had another problem when it was going to come out earlier in the year 2012, but then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again. The release got pushed back a lot of times. Finally got pushed to February 2013, and that's another film that bombed at the box office, and it deserves it. For a film that cost $55 million, I couldn't even see it. And it's directed by Walter Hill, who directed 48 Hours and another 48 Hours. Another buddy cop film that he directed. Those are much better than this. Those are much better than this film. Sylvester Stallone. I thought Sylvester Stallone, he was okay in the film, but he couldn't save the movie, and especially the partner's son Kane, who appeared in the three of the Fast and Furious films. With this phone, his cell phone. That's the other thing that bugged me. He's always on his cell phone, always asking for information. Like it's almost like every 2 minutes. I want some information. Then like a few minutes later, oh yeah, can you give me some more information? Just makes me want to grab that phone and just break it. And the bad guys, Jason Momoa, from Stargate Atlantis. He was like so though, but nothing else. That's just I don't want to say, but he was like so, but there was not much to do, and especially with him, we had that axe fight with him and Stallone was not great whatsoever. It was a lame fight scene. And all of a sudden, Sun King just kills Jason Momoa and had to save Stallone. So Stallone doesn't even kill the main bad guys. Had be the other guy. Had to save Stallone's ass. Had to save his ass, and it's like wow. Another problem with the film was originally Thomas Jane was going to star in this film, but then producer Joel Silver did not want a white guy pairing up with Stallone. So we wanted to have an Asian person working with him. So that was given to Sun King instead. And I was like, wow, someone got fired because for their skin color, really. Even that, it would also have been a shame because if Thomas Jane were to star in that, it would probably act in the same way with Sun King was with the cell phone and stuff like. Oh, really? That's a real shame to let Thomas Jane star in that because. I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise he would be doing the same thing what Sun King was doing in the film with the cell phone and stuff. That would have been really laughable for Thomas Jane. The plot, it takes place in New Orleans, and it had the harmonica music. I did not like the harmonica music. I did not like the score to that film, especially with that. The harmonica music type score was much more better in Tremors. That film had a much more better harmonica type score than this film. That's a much more memorable score than this film. And I just wanted to know. I just want to know where to say that the film was the film was once again boring. You know, I've seen much more better stuff that Stallone has done. You know, even though he does okay in the film though, but he can't save this movie. Sun Kane, very terrible, very extremely terrible and forgettable in this film, and even Christian Slayer has a small part in this film, but even seeing in the trailer, you knew he was gonna die anyway, you know, because he's like, oh, you know, he gives them the information about the bad guys, and it cuts away, you know, like you can't just shoot a guy you can't just shoot a guy like that, and someone's like, I just did. So you know, judging from the trailer, you knew he was gonna die anyway. Even I knew it too. Um, didn't care what the whole bad guys plot was, you know, what they were planning to do, and they didn't care about whatsoever. Um, there were even they had a lot of stupid lines of dialogue, you know, like sorry, I just had to got the chills for a second. Um, like lines of there was like not even dumb lines of dialogue too, like maybe that's why they fired Thomas Jane, so they add this Sun Kane guy and fill in this dialogue like um saying how it went because he said that Stallone was saying because you're Asian, you know, the whole samurai like the whole samurai thing, you know, you can do that, and it's like, oh no, I'm Korean. It's like I'm not Chinese, I'm Korean. It's like almost done with saying like it's almost done with saying like my favorite Italian is tacos, and Stallone's like, well, that's stupid, and I'm like, yes, that is stupid, you know. The script was very terrible was very terrible. And Bullet to the Head, even though it bombed at the box office and it deserves it. I'm not gonna own that film either because Stallone he's done it better. Another better buddy cop film that he did was Tango and Cash, and Tango and Cash was a much better film, and I love Tango and Cash, and that's a much more better, but 100 times better than this buddy cop film, you know. Even though to me it also felt like he was Stallone's character. He's a hitman, you know, and I felt like he was kind of doing the same performance he did in Get Carter. That's another remake that bombed the year 2000. I think it was year 2001 or 2000. That film bombed. That was a remake that bombed at the box office too, and he was kind of like playing the same character as he is in this film. And even Get Carter is much more better film than this, and I do like Get Carter a lot. Where is it? There it is. It's right over there. And they're just looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. This is. Yeah, I felt like he was doing the same performance as he did in Get Carter, which I really do enjoy that film as well. So yeah, that's Bullet to the Head. That's another crappy film, and that's number 11. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it here, and I'm gonna get on to this. I'm gonna get on to the second part of the video. So here's as a reminder, here is my from number 18 to all the way down to 11. Well, first off, technically I said the first film that I said was Room 237, but I think it doesn't count because it originally came out in 2012. And also one thing I mentioned about the film, all the praise it got, and I don't see why. But technically, yeah, I'm just saying that because it came out on DVD on Netflix this year. So, just want to say that. So, number 18, Carrie, an unwanted remake. Number 17, another unwanted remake was Evil Dead. 16, G.I. Joe Retaliation. Number 15, The Purge. 14, Only God Forgives. 13, After Earth. 12, Machete Kills, and number 11, Bullet to the Head. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 of my worst of 2013. So see you soon.